the alpha dog and fasten your chin straps, check the security of your seatbelt. The roller coaster is about to leave the station. Uh, if you tuned in yesterday, uh, two old car dogs, new school, old school, every school. I'm telling you right now, Jim Ziegler and Tim Kintz. Well, we are going to rock the house today. Hello, Tim.
What's happening, Jim? It's great to be back again. Haven't seen you for a day.
Haven't seen you for a day. We got our technology working great. Everything is cool. We are ready to rock and roll. Yesterday, we talked about closing and negotiating. Give us a recap. What did we talk about yesterday, Tim?
I think really we kind of backed up to the beginning, right? It's always fun and easy to talk about what closing is, talk about negotiating, but really we just kind of peeled that onion back and realized that closing is everything we do. It's any question we ask, anything positive we do that moves the sale forward. Closing starts with you and your attitude, your beliefs, and realizing I don't care if you sell cars, RVs, watches, it doesn't matter. You got to believe from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes, if that customer does not buy your product from you right then, they're making the biggest mistake of their life. And they're not all going to buy, but hell, if you don't believe they need to buy it, then how are they going to believe they need to buy it? And
well, let's face it, they have already done a ton of research before they hit the showroom. They know, most people know what they want. And the thing about it is not everybody can afford what they want. You know, sometimes they come in, they're unrealistic. And we have to be professional mind changers. We have to be professional persuaders. I have never taught people to hammer a consumer. I have always taught people to use finesse and persuasion. Yeah, you know, I'll tell salespeople every day when I'm on the desk, look, we hired you because we suspected you had a personality. Go use it. And,
well, it's really about your confidence, isn't it, Jim? I mean, when a customer comes on the lot, you got to be confident in your skills, your abilities, and that you have what it takes to close that deal. If you're not confident, then it just leaks out of you, man. I can smell fear when it comes walking up to me. And you're either going to sell out of fear or fun. And the problem is fear is paralyzing and fun I always say a sale is made when you transfer your enthusiasm to the customer. And if you don't have any enthusiasm, then you're not going to be transferring that to the customer. The internet didn't create any enthusiasm. The internet didn't create any fun. You have to really care about your customers, and you have to be excited, enthusiastic, and you have to believe that they're going to get that vehicle. And then follow the steps, do all the right things, man, and you're going to get car deals. It's not, I said this yesterday, selling cars can be the easiest high-paying job you'll ever have, or it can be the hardest low-paying job you'll ever have. But it's really determined by you, your skills, your choices that you make every single day when you get up. Do you get up and say, I'm going to kick ass today? I'm going to attack the day like the sign behind me says. Are you going to attack the day, or is the day going to attack you? That's your choice.
The now commitment.
That's what it's all about.
Now, buyers have something called buyer anxiety, no matter how much they have researched the deal. And most deals today, I hope they're coming in by appointment. I don't, some customers accidentally stumble on the lot, but a lot of customers come in because we made an appointment.
Right.
And they've got a certain amount of things they know about the car. They know what they want. They know the equipment on the car. The majority of customers, if you're a new car franchise, they've already made brand selection. They want your brand. You're not up, if you're a Chevy dealer, you're not up against Ford. You're not up against Chrysler Ram. You are only up against other Ford dealers, other Chevy dealers. If they're looking at Chevy, you're up against other Chevy dealers. You're looking at a Ford, you're only up against other Ford dealers. So understand, they've made brand selection. And the one question that I sold more cars, and I've sold a ton of cars. The one question, Mr. Customer, if you could own this car on your terms, you'd own it now, wouldn't you? Own, not buy, own. If you could own this car on your own terms, your terms, not mine, well, let's get with the manager and discuss your terms. Fair enough. It's conversation. It's not memorization. The now commitment is the number one thing a salesperson has to get from the consumer, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on the keyboard. Sometimes you're using these word tracks on the keyboard. Sometimes you're using them in a face-to-face chat on your phone. However you're communicating with the customer, where did the sale start? Did the sale start in the BDC? It might have started. So I'm talking to BDC reps right now. These word tracks are whoever is. You're a BDC rep. You are a sales professional. Excuse me. You're not a BDC rep. You are a sales professional. And if I ran your dealership, I would treat you that way. And the internet is just another modicum of communication. It's how we talk to the people.
Well, I think one thing you said, it's all good, but one thing that was real good is, to the effect that customers are nervous about spending the money, even though they walked on your lot with complete intention to spend the money, right? There's buyer's remorse before they ever even have bought the vehicle, and it's my job to get them to think, get a customer to think, act, and feel positive about anything they're doing. They this best have, right? The buying process is longer than it was in the past because they'll spend 6 months playing around on the internet looking at cars, and then that car will cookie them and follow them all over the internet. But by the time we're either a sales professional or we're a sales prevention. Okay, what brand do we want to get? We want to visit. That's why your Google reviews are critical, because they'd love to buy it from go. They figure out what their budget is, and is this the right time to go get a vehicle? So when they walk on our lot, they've already decided to get a vehicle. We're not Kirby vacuum people that are giving them a 6-pack of Pepsi and throwing dirt on their floor and showing how good it is. We're not door knockers. People are walking on our lot, and we're either talking them in or talking them out of getting that vehicle from us. But it's like you just said, it's understanding that if I let that customer leave, my chances of getting them back in the dealership are slim and none, and slim left town. And it's understanding a commitment. What is a commitment to own? And, I always define a commitment as this. It's a series of answers, actions, and events that eliminate all other options. Okay, it's a series.
We're not tricking the customer.
No,
we're not deceiving the customer. You got to remember, they came to own a car, but they come in, and you touched on it, and I defined it 30 years ago as buyer's anxiety.
Yeah.
The closer they get to making a decision, the harder they run from it.
That's right.
But have you ever had a customer, Tim, that was rude to you? You ever had a customer that was rude?
Which ones weren't?
You're a salesperson right now, and I'm the manager. I'm asking you a question.
That's their job.
Have you ever had a customer that was rude? Have you ever had a customer that
regularly?
Okay.
Regularly.
They were rude. They had an ill temper, but then they bought the car and they got nice.
Happens all the time.
How many times have you sold a car and on the other side of the decision, they got nice?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about that. What other industry would you go out to buy something, and before you ever went there, you hated the person you were going to buy it from, you didn't trust them, you thought they were lying, you were willing to lie to them, say anything you had to get ahead, and you wouldn't feel bad about it. And they hate your guts. There's no other industry like that.
Every one of these third-party vendors has told the customer that you can't be trusted. Cars.com, TrueCar, Vroom, all of them. They make their living by creating distrust of the dealership. So that you think they are the savior, and the price that you get from the so-called lead providers, they have ruined the relationship with the dealer.
Okay, I will say this about our reputation: it's well earned. We've earned it. Historically, there was a lot of bad shit that went on that we did to customers that wasn't up and up, and it was earned. But times have changed, and it's a profession, and we're more transparent nowadays. And knowing that, though, we have to understand when that customer walks on the lot, their guard's up. Okay, I don't care who they are, what they are, their guard's up. Whether it's because it's fear of getting the wrong car, getting a bad deal, getting too much car, not being able to afford it, whatever it is, my job is to lower their guard to get them to become open-minded, right? Once a customer becomes open-minded, then they'll at least listen to what I have to say. Then if I do a good job making my presentation, making the whole process about that customer, then they become confident in me that at least what I'm telling them is for the best of them. And then when I sit down and negotiate, they trust me. And ultimately, I don't care what you sell, man. Trust is the ultimate goal. But we've always said trust is earned, not given. And it's realizing when they walk on the lot, I got to lower their guard. Then they become open-minded. Then they become confident in me. Then they'll trust me. And when, you have to understand to be understood. Understand the customer before they'll ever understand us. And once you understand the customer, that's when you're going to be a great closer. That's when you're going to be great at overcoming objections. That's when you're going to be great at negotiating. And quite frankly, that's when you're going to sell 40, 50 cars a month, because you're going to have repeat referral business that's going to carry you through your entire career.
Well, the truth of the matter is, today people can automatically sell a car. It's a seller's market, but that's going to normalize. And we're talking about when it normalizes, and it's normalizing right now at a rapid pace. I've got dealers that are getting 150 cars on the ground this month.
Yeah.
I mean, the manufacturers are shipping cars again. So, and a lot of our people that thought they were heroes, I watch LinkedIn and Facebook and all these people congratulating themselves on record months, record sales. A monkey with a note in his mouth could have set a record.
We weren't selling cars. They were buying cars. There's a whole lot of car salespeople out there with fake superhero capes on. And, new car inventory is picking up, but also I was just in a dealership at Ryan, and we were looking at used cars, and just over a 2-week period, I think is what Shane was talking about, that the used car values are down. Well, you start doing the mental math on that. That $40,000 car just went down by $1,600 for the past 2 weeks. Continue. So our used cars and our trade-ins are, and we're going to have to get really good at selling again, building value. Customers pay whatever I ask them to pay. Like, when did you get? Because you haven't been in the car business. You were in the order taking business. It's time to start buckling our chin straps, pulling up your bootstraps, getting serious. Doing it, man. It's not rocket science. We just got to have fun.
Okay, today's show is common objections. Let's talk about what do people say that generally stops most salespeople in their tracks. And of course, the number one objection that customers do, and by the way, you have to identify, is it really an objection or is it an escape excuse?
Yeah.
Customers make what I call escape excuses. And is it really something just to get away from you? They really don't mean it. It's really not important to them. And the first objection I hear is, I need to think about it.
Yeah.
Take it, Tim. I need to think about it.
not an objection, because what is it that they want to think about? So, anytime you clarify, what is it they want to think about? Is it the car itself, or is it the price? If they say it's the car, now I have to resell them. I'm not sold on the car. So my last 45 minutes with that customer, I put them on the wrong car trying to get a commitment. It's now that's easy to turn it into budget. It just sounds like you guys are on a budget. Is that right? Well, yeah. So it's in your budget. You guys being comfortable with it. Is there any other reason we couldn't wrap it up? Well, I guess we could afford it. We'd do it. Come on, that's the easiest part of my job. You all want a cup of coffee or a bottle of water while you go inside and wrap this thing up? It's just being prepared. Anything we talk about, we have to collect.
If you could own this car on your own terms, you'd own it now, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Customer, you've already done months of research. You already told me you climbed all over the internet. You know all about the car. You've already thought about it. You've done nothing but think about it. It's time to make a decision. And however you express that to consumer, if you've got empathy with them, if you've got some common ground with them, and most salespeople don't even understand common ground. There's 4 subjects that'll make up somebody like you. There's 4 subjects you can talk about: family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Those are, family. You got a family? I got a family. I mean, I always put a picture of my family somewhere in my workstation, and Jackie B. Cooper taught me one time, if you have a puppy, put a picture of your puppy up there. That'll get a conversation started every time. But, I've got family. You've got family.
Hey, if somebody out there doesn't have family, if somebody out there doesn't have, they can just go to Walmart and buy a picture frame, and that little family comes in there. So they can just leave that picture of the family that's inside the picture frame when they buy it. So.
Yeah, buy a picture from Walmart, leave it in there, and this is my wife with a barcode across her breast.
Yeah.
You got the same wife.
One caution.
You got the same wife as that other salesman. Yes, we're Mormons. One caution. Stay away from politics and religion. That ain't going to find common ground. Yeah. Recreation.
Yep.
Absolutely. What sports do they play? What are their hobbies?
Kids, pets,
organizations they belong to. Hey, you're a scout. I was an Eagle Scout. You're a Shriner. I drink. There's got to be. You missed that joke.
Shiner, Texas beer.
Okay.
But I think really what one thing you said that I want to clarify that everybody kind of reminds themselves of, you get questions, concerns, or objections, right? Questions are just, what do you think payments will run? I don't know. Let's find the right car for you. Were you wanting to go something loaded or maybe something a little more basic, right? That's just a question. Concerns are, I'm not really sure we can afford it. That doesn't mean that they're not going to buy it. They're just not really sure. Objection is, I think your price is too freaking high and we're going to shop around. Right? So it's understanding, is it a question, a concern, or an objection? And the way you handle each one of them has to be completely different, right? The question is just give them an answer. The concern is put them at ease, let them know that you'll help them out and we'll take care of that. An objection is I have to dig deeper to make them understand that this is the best time to go ahead and get that vehicle or whatever that objection may be. And I have to overcome the objection to give myself another opportunity to ask for the sale. That's all it is. But I think when you understand questions, concerns, objections, then I think you'll attack each one of them a little bit different and you'll be more successful.
Exactly. And one of the what's your best price? That confounds a salesperson. Now, a lot of people are coming in, they've already worked part of the deal with the BDC. They've already come in on an ad. They're already coming in on, but every deal starts out at all the money. But when you talk figures on the lot, how do you get away from that? And the best way, I've said, Mr. Customer, our best price, No problem. No problem. I mean, the people don't want you to be evasive. They don't want you to feel like you're playing hide the weenie with the numbers. You know, you're really, Mr. Customer, no problem. What's your best price? No problem. If price is important to you, it is our policy at this dealership to give you all the information. Here's the key word, Tim. Give you all the information you need to make an intelligent decision with no pressure to buy. When I said that over and over again with the consumer, we're going to give you all the information with no pressure to buy. I'm going to give you the price, the trade, the monthly payment amount, the lease payment, whatever you need to know. No pressure to buy. All we require is you select and drive a vehicle so we know exactly what we're talking about. And then I want the salesperson to use the closing phrase. That's fair, isn't it? The fairness challenge disarms a consumer. Nobody wants to think they're unfair. So listen to the modules in that word tracking. First of all, no problem. No problem. It's our policy at this dealership to give you all the information you need with no pressure whatsoever to buy the car. Is that fair? We'll give you the price, the trade, whatever you need to know. And no pressure to buy. All we require is you select and drive a vehicle before we discuss figures so we know exactly what we're working those figures on. Now that's fair, isn't it? That fairness challenge, Tim, totally disarms them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lowering their guard. What I was talking about earlier, lowering the guard, pressure release. It depends what the situation is, where you're at in the deal. Did you build enough value? Who's controlling the conversation throughout it? Did you build rapport? Did you find common ground with the customer? Can you have an ongoing conversation? All those go into that. And then when you're confident in what you're saying, it's not rocket science. It's confidence is what it's all about. But one thing that I'll ask you that's kind of old school. I grew up with it too. But what if a customer will not commit to buying to see numbers? How do we handle that customer today?
Say it again.
But they want to see numbers. How do we handle that today? Giving them numbers. We're walking them. Same with trade. If we wouldn't give them a number on, we wouldn't give numbers.
I'll give any customer the numbers. We have no problem giving them the numbers. Would we rather have a selection of a vehicle before we do that and a firm commitment? But as a manager, and I think like a manager, I don't require a commitment to get the numbers. And I think that there's dealerships still doing that. If they won't commit, no, quit it. They can get the numbers on the telephone anywhere in town. So I will definitely give them the numbers. Is that what I prefer to do? But, they're out of sequence in what benefits us most. But yeah, I'll give them the numbers, Tim. At that point, see, managers don't get up off the desk and go in and close the deals. And that's the point. When a customer is adamant about the numbers and it's premature, I'll go in as a manager. I got the best manager TO in the world. You ready? You ready? You ready?
Let's roll.
Okay. First of all, when a salesperson comes up to the desk and they say, "Mr. Ziegler, these people are leaving. These people are not going to make a decision right now. That we're halfway through the negotiation. They want to leave." I say, "Okay, I tell you what. First of all, I might make a decision to try something else. We might switch cars. We might do any number of things. But then the next thing I say is, look, go sit with them. I'll be right there." I'm talking to managers right now. When you TO a deal, never go back with the salesperson. Never walk shoulder to shoulder, side by side toward a customer with the salesperson. Because right now they tense up My God, he's bringing in the heavy closer. Oh, mod. They get all tense. No, I send the salesman back, and then I stick my head around the corner. Hi, folks. My salesperson doing a good job. You having a good experience? Well, I couldn't help it over here. Listen, this is starting to go back and forth between you and me and the salesperson. I don't want to use my salesman as a messenger. Are you okay with that? Would you mind if I just sat down and in one sequence finish the deal? Now, when a manager says, look, it's starting to go back and forth between you and me and the salesman, and I don't want to use my salesman as a messenger. You don't want to do that, do you? No. Would you mind if I personally just sat down and finished the deal? When you say finish the deal, if they say yes, you've closed it. Would you mind if I just sat down and finished the deal? That is the best word track for a TO. And at that point, I want my salesperson to moonwalk the hell out of there. Do not stay in the TO when I take a TO. Get away.
Oh, I already told Johnny here that we're not doing it. And
exactly.
It makes it harder. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I want to say, and don't even be in their line of sight. Don't go 10 feet away. Go around the corner. Be available for me. But when I take a TO salesperson, you disappear. They're not going to say yes to me if they've been saying no to the person who is still in the room.
Well, that's the higher authority, right? It's people will. How many times, anybody that's out there listening to this, how many times have you as a salesperson, you've done everything you could to try to get a customer to buy, and then the manager gets involved, they come in, they say exactly what you just said, and the customer says, okay, I'll take it. And you're like, what the hell? I've been saying that for the last 30 minutes. It's because it's the higher authority. People always want to feel like they're dealing with a manager. They want to deal with that higher authority. And one thing you said, man, that I think is critical that we start doing is getting management involvement early and often throughout the car deals. Every deal matters, and we need to have early management flybys to touch the customer early on, thanking them for coming in.
I've been teaching that for 30 years. 30 years. I teach management classes. Touch the people often and early. And here's the word track. Never meet the customer for the first time when you are in combat.
That's right. Yeah.
Meet the customer and don't managers. When you touch the customer, don't take it away from the salesperson. This is what you do. I get 20 feet away, and I'll in a loud voice, hi, folks. You having a good experience? You're with one of my best people. Is he doing a good job? When I said my people, I identified myself as a manager. I don't say, hi, I'm the big shot. You know, I say, hi, folks. Is my salesman doing a good job? You got one of our best people. You having a good experience? I'm glad you're here. Now that word track, I'm glad you're here. Managers, I am a professional manager. I'm the best one you ever saw. And I'm going to tell you right now, the cordiality of the word track, it's not formal. It doesn't sound like a robot. I didn't do memorization. I'm doing conversation. Think about that a second. As a professional manager, hi, folks, you having a good experience? Glad you're here. You're with one of my best people. And if the people are smiling by that point, I'll say something. Hey, look, these people are friends of mine, John. Treat them well. They're wealthy. And, oh, I'm not wealthy. And the people start playing back with you.
Well, I think it's critical. It's early management intervention at any times. And really, your job is to thank and congratulate the customer for coming in, build credibility in the salesperson with that customer, I would tee up the pre-demo trade walk so we can get the appraisal going while they're on the demo, and then get lost. Get lost. You're not the salesperson. Don't take over the deal. Get lost, but be prepared at any point to take a TO if the salesperson can't land them on a car, if they can't get them on a demo. When they come back from the demo, somebody needs to be there in case they can't get a commitment from the customer.
They already know me.
Yes. And then there's one last thing that we started doing with all of our dealerships that's phenomenal is a pre-negotiation interview. we have our managers go in. It takes about 2 minutes prior to the first pencil. They go in. Hey, how'd little Johnny do? Should we keep him around or should we blow him out? Man, that's great. So what'd you guys like best about the car? Ask a couple questions, find out what they liked. I'm finding out if the salesperson did their job, but I'm also testing the level of commitment, right? Because it's hard to define commitment. It's like the Supreme Court justices said about porn. They can't define porn, but they know it when they see it, right? It's hard to define commitment, but you know it when you got it. And then they just let them know, okay, I'm going to get some information ready on the best way to get your new vehicle. Johnny's going to bring it back out, and we're going to figure out how to finish this thing up for you guys. I'll be right back. That 2-minute pre-negotiation interview done by managers has reduced the friction of negotiations in the stores that I work with. You can't even measure the amount because I've released all the pressure from that customer. It's the most stressful point of the car deal. Let's make sure we're setting it up the right way. And when that manager, that higher authority is involved in that deal and they let them know what the process is going to be, now it puts everybody at ease. And as a salesperson, it lets me know, man, I always got somebody to turn this deal to if I get lost throughout the car deal or if I get to a point that I can't move it forward. So it's management intervention. We got to get rid of chair ass. Get up off your ass. Get out on the floor. You desk deals at your desk. You manage on the floor. And I think we need as much of that. And I would argue that managers need to practice. Just like we say salespeople need to practice for grading, they need to practice all their scripts. And practice our scripts. What is your script fly by? What do you say when the salesperson can't land them on a car? Salesperson can't make commitment. What is that script, or what do we say in our pre-negotiation interview? And when we're all on the same page as managers, everybody's doing the same thing, and that's when success is repeatable. And that's how we get our mojo back. That's how we become closing machines. In the negotiation, and that's how we keep happy customers. That's how we stay.
You know, Tim, I've looked at some of your online training materials. I've got the ticker working right now with the website. If you really want to see some great sample videos of Tim in action, you can go to his online training network at kintzgroup.com/KintzNow/online training. It's on the ticker right now. Take a minute, write that down, take a look at it, because your salespeople have a lot of downtime. When you're not making appointments and you're not in front of a customer, you should be looking for a customer or enriching your skills.
That's right. Yeah, there's tons. Just so you know, there's tons of resources on there. We got these closer cards. There's 20 over, there's almost 30 different closes in here. So they're flashcards. So they're designed to do with another person. One day I was sitting with my son, he's 12, but when he was like 8, we were doing flashcards for math. And I thought, why not flashcards for our closes? I mean, that's the foundation of how every one of us learned math and everything else. So
I did.
Flashcards for closes, for questions, for fabs, for bypassing. I do a thing called build and burn. Whoever has the best closing ratio every week gets the golden dumbbell. Every customer counts. And then whoever has the worst closing ratio every week, they get the fire extinguisher because they're burning through ups. And they have to bring them to the sales meetings every week with them. And you don't want to have the fire extinguisher back-to-back weeks, but you definitely want the dumbbell, and whoever has the best closing ratio for the month gets the dumbbell, and they get to collect these things up. They're great. The customers can see them. There's nothing bad on them, but it's about having fun, being competitive, challenging yourself. What am I going to do today to be better than I was yesterday? And whether it's going to kintzgroup.com on our resources, send us an email, call us, whatever, go to Jim. Do something to make yourself better today than you were yesterday. And at employment security, there's no such thing as job security. There is employment security. And if you make yourself great, there's always going to be high-paying jobs out there.
And my sales manager training and my F&I training, absolutely free. Hundreds of videos at ZieglerOnDemand.com. Hundreds of my complete F&I school, my Samurai F&I school, the best F&I school in the known universe, is free on Ziegler on Demand.
Yeah.
All of my management sales manager closes, all of my sales manager training material, and my dealer principal and general manager training is also on that site. And almost nobody in the industry is doing general manager and dealer principal training. I'm teaching a class on general manager at Northwood University.
I love it.
I'm teaching a class on general manager. You know why I teach that class? Because I'm qualified to teach it.
Well, they're the head coach, right? Look at Nick Saban. Look at, the head coach, the general manager is the one that determines. It's trickle down. And it's speed of the leader, speed of the pack.
Exactly. So Ziegler on Demand and Tim's online training right there at
just go to kintzgroup.com and there's all kinds of stuff in there they can go play around with. Reach out to us. I got a manager workshop coming up next month here in Dallas at Top Golf. We're going to be doing a train the trainer where I train managers how to train in the store. We got that. It's a Super Bowl party on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday is going to be class. We do it at a Top Golf here in Dallas.
So if they go to kintzgroup.com, there's a whole world of things they can do. Let's get back to the content for a second.
Let's do it.
We're talking about how to close deals, common objections, and what's your best price is one of the most common objections. Now, the internet is answering a lot of that because a lot of people are coming in with a set price. The BDC has already set price. One of the lead providers has already set the price. So I've always said full price is a fair price, but if the deal was already discounted when I get it, and sometimes the deal is already discounted when you get it, the internet has discounted that deal, that becomes full price. Because consumers, believe it or not, are going to try to negotiate a better price than they got on the internet, they got from the BDC. They're still coming in negotiating. So when I say full price, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are one price. Well, guess what? You still wiggle on the trade. Yeah. The trade still has so don't tell me you don't negotiate, because you do. I mean, you're not negotiating on the sale price, but you still are wiggling on the trade. I mean, you're not firm on the trade. Very few people can say they have integrity on the trade figure, because if that customer wants a higher figure for the trade, and I use the figure, our professional buyer has looked at the car that you are selling to us today. I never say the used car manager put a number on it. I mean, get out of car colloquialisms,
That's right.
The used car manager, a lowball, put a number on it over there. No,
right.
Our professional buyer looked at it, and based on what we bought and sold similar vehicles for recently, we're willing to buy your car as part of this deal. We're buying your car as part of this deal for this figure. And that explains it. Customers want explanations. They don't want to just have a number. They want you to explain where you got the number.
Right. You got to be able to justify how you got to wherever you're at, how you got the payment, down payment, price, trade, doesn't matter.
Exactly. Mr. Customer, as you know, most of our lenders would like to see as much as 20% down. Would like to see. You can't say require. Get away. Don't ever tell a consumer the banks require 10, 20% down. They don't. And that is a deceptive trade practice, and you can be prosecuted for that. Do not say the banks require 20% down. The banks, our lenders, would like to see as much as 20% for preferred and preferable financial terms. Our best financing, they would like to see 20% down. And we said that yesterday. I can certainly get you financed with less money down. How close to that can you come up with? What were you thinking? 5,000? Were you thinking 40? Were you thinking 4,900?
Yep.
How close? How close? How much you gonna be short?
Well, I think really it's defining and breaking up the two different times you get objections, right? You get after the demo, you get objections to buying the car. In the negotiation, we get objections to the numbers, and then making sure we get ourselves prepared for each situation that comes up, right? It's after the demo, I think your price is too high. I mean, really, there's 4 simple steps that when you get an objection after your initial closing question, whether you're doing a sold row close, assumptive close, whatever you're doing, it's you clarify the objection so you know exactly what the customer's talking about. Change the objection to typically the budget or deal because that's easier to deal with. Corner the objection, make sure there's nothing else hiding there that's going to kink your deal later on, other than you feeling like you're getting a good budget. Any other reason couldn't wrap it up. And then always come back with that either or closing question. And when you really simplify it to 4 simple steps to overcoming objections, it's really not that hard. I mean, there's some very specific color equipment objections, or we're going to shop around to save some money. We could do long-term savings close, time as money closes, all those, but those are just long versions of clarifying. And then you're always going to change the objection, corner the objection, and close on the objections. It's easy when you're good, and it sucks when you're not.
No, I've got a close I have used on occasion, and every manager listen to this. This is a manager close, and you have to have empathy with the consumer. You know, you got to know. There was a Clint Eastwood movie. It was like the third Dirty Harry movie when he said a man has to know his limitations. And I think Clint really meant a man or woman. He was socially conscious. A man or woman has to know their limitations. Now, you have to know what you can get away with. And being a good manager, you know what you can get away with certain people. When I've got a certain type of senior citizen, I'm a senior citizen myself, so I get away with this. When I've got a certain kind of senior citizen that is laughing and cutting up with me, or they're in a good, they get along with me well, and I'll look at them, and I'll stand about 20 feet away and stare at them. They see me looking at them, and they're nervous, and I'm looking at them, and then I walk over and I say, "Are you Mr. Jenkins?" "Yeah, I'm Mr. Jenkins." "Mr. Jenkins, I had to come meet you. You are the toughest negotiator I have ever been up against. I want you to tell me the truth. I'm going to honor the last figure I gave you. I'm going to honor the figure. I'm not going to change it, but tell me the truth, sir. You've been in the car business, haven't you?" And they always say the same thing. "Well, I bought a lot of cars in my time." Every one of them bought a lot of cars in my time. "Sir, you are the best negotiator I've been up with. You have totally defeated my salesperson. Let me tell you. Are you working right now?" "No, I'm retired." "Sir, I will fire this young man and give you this desk." If you'd like, you can go to work right now. "No, I'm retired." I actually had one take the job one time. I had to back up a little bit and say, how's your feet and knees? You're going to be walking on the asphalt. You okay?" But I had to talk him out of it.
I'm real good with the customer face-to-face, but I'm not good at digital stuff. Or other guys are, I'm really good at digital, but I'm not good face-to-face. Well, bummer. Today, and you have to be good face-to-face. There's more expected of us. The customers higher than we ever were. And if you're not comfortable with it, like I told my daughter when I was teaching her to ski, get comfortable. Point the tips downhill, and then you'll get comfortable going faster. It's the same thing. Get comfortable with the things you're not comfortable with, and that's when you're going to get good. There is very little difference between the digital lead and the person that walks on your lot. They had digital communication with us at some point. So we have to be able to be great at both and continue to challenge ourselves, whether it's video. We do some great stuff on video negotiation with the remote deals that we're negotiating on. I mean, there's so many areas that I think we need to continue the conversation on. But man, I just want everybody to reach out to us and give us all the topics you want and questions you got. And me and Jim we'll be here to answer anything you guys need as best we can.
Tim, the CRM runs the dealership. The CRM is the heartbeat of the deal.
I thought the controller was. No, it's really the receptionist.
Oh, the receptionist knows all the dirt in the dealership.
That's right.
The receptionist knows who's seeing who's messing around, who's pregnant. The receptionist knows everything.
Right. But you're right. The CRM and the BDC are the heartbeat of a dealership. Now, some of us need heart surgery. We need a heart transplant because our digital retailing isn't doing good. It's on life support. And
that is our fault. Digital retail becomes part of your workforce. It's how we do business. And
there is no difference.
If you're not good at it, and we need to understand that consumers will buy a car with video like we're doing right now. You have to understand that.
Hell yeah.
I pioneered video in the car business. I discovered Elise Kephart. I mean, understand, in 2004, I stood on the stage at Digital Dealer and held up a flip camera. And I said, who knows what this is? I had 400 people in the audience and nobody knew what a flip camera was. I went out in the audience and interviewed a person in the front row. And then I walked back up on stage and shoved it in my laptop, downloaded it, put it on YouTube, emailed it to myself. I said, that's the way you sell cars.
But I bet you 75% of dealerships out there are still not capitalizing and maximizing video. And it's insane. But they'll spend 3 hours on TikTok. They'll spend 3 hours on TikTok watching a bunch of bull crap that doesn't matter. But then they'll tell me, I'm just not comfortable with video. Dude, you've been watching dogs jumping through screen doors and going down water slides for the last 2 hours. What the hell's your problem? And it made you no money.
Oh, I've made millions on video through the years. Millions.
Video sells. So there's so many areas to address, and it's staying relevant. Old dogs can learn new tricks. You just have to have an open mind, be willing to learn it. And because I love technology, but technology doesn't sell cars. People sell cars using technology. And that's the people. It's still the people business, whether it's us or the customer. It's the people business, not the car business. And we have to understand and communicate.
If you are an A to Z store, if you are an A to Z store, now I know a lot of stores like Walzer Shop, a lot of dealers are A to Z. Matter of fact, my good friend Chip Perry and his company, Brian Ali, Natasha, they're teaching A to Z, where the salesperson handles the entire deal. Now understand, that doesn't eliminate managers. That just puts managers in the background. Managers become invisible. The managers are still there, but they become coaches. They're coaching the salesperson through the deal. They're invisible to the customer.
Right.
If you are an A to Z store, you still have to be a professional. You still have to know closing techniques, and you need to learn F&I.
Yep. You got to be even better. Hell, now you're adding the whole, you got to be good at face-to-face, got to be good at digital, and now you got to be good at F&I because, like I always say, 3 rules in F&I. Your number 1 job is to protect the company. Number 2 job, secure the deal. Number 3 job, increase the profit. I mean, that's simple.
I have written the best F&I book that was ever written. I just rewrote it last year. My copyright started in 2007. The first time I wrote it, I've rewritten it 14 times. And the most common rewrite, the most recent rewrite was last year, 2021. It's current. I've got digital retailing in it. All the word tracks are in the book. All the word tracks are there. I mean, in long script, no fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Everybody needs to get it, download it, learn it.
So go to ZieglerAutofinance.com. ZieglerAutofinance.com. download the F&I manual. All I ask is that you don't give it to other people. Be fair, you know. But yeah, don't be mass producing it and selling it cheaper.
Yeah. So marketplace.
What should we tell people that we haven't told them so far?
Man, I think I always talk about pain of discipline and pain of regret. Pain of discipline is doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I couldn't want to do it yet. I always remind people, don't wait till you're motivated to do something, because you'll never be motivated. Just do it, and it brings motivation. The best thing about the pain of discipline is it only lasts until you do it. Then there's no more pain, just a little bit. Problem is also the regret, the bad pain. That wastes tons, right? It's pain and regret is saying, man, I wish I'd have set goals. I wish I'd have done video. I wish it's the wouldas, couldas, shouldas. Regret, it lasts forever. So, man, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because somebody's going to push you to do it. Not you have to do it. Make yourself do it. Motivate yourself, and that's when you start to kick ass, man. And everything, but it's the pain of discipline, and it's not easy. But life doesn't care. Success isn't a life, it's a response to life. I always say there's three types of people: people that make it happen, people that watch.
Well, Tim, you've got 2 books out, and we need to talk about those right now. Oh, there they are, Fearless and Frictionless.
That's right.
Okay. Fearless and Frictionless. Closing and negotiating with purpose. Frictionless. Buy them on Amazon or buy them right on Tim's website at kintzgroup.com.
Yes. And I also have just recorded Frictionless, and it's being edited, and it's going to be up on Audible probably in the next couple months. So keep an eye out for that coming out on Audible. It's also on Kindle too. So, and I'm working on my 3rd book. So hopefully that'll be
fantastic. Us super performers, we don't have any time. I mean, we're always doing something. I'm always creating something new. I'm always editing something new. I'm always writing something new. I mean, creating techniques that weren't done previously in the car business.
Right.
That's the difference between the people that showed up and the people that are the super performers.
One thing I want everybody to know is take time for yourself. Recreate, continue to do things, get out of the dealership so you can keep your energy level there. If all you do is burn yourself, man, and there's some people out there that say, man, I'm burnt out, but they were never doing something to recreate yourself, to stay creative. Sometimes crushes the creativity out of us. I challenge you to continue. You give a kid a piece of paper and say, write everything you want down for Christmas, and they'll fill. I don't know, give me a gift card to Lowe's, because we go from an ocean-sized creativity to a thimble of creativity if we don't work on it all the time, because life will crush it out of you. So, man, just stay fresh and have fun. Rule 1 to selling: have fun. That's rule 1.
Have fun. And I've always had fun. And have a personality, have a little humor.
That's right.
I can't believe it. When I walk in a dealership, the energy level goes up about 20 points. When I was working with Ed Bozarth in Denver, one of my bigger clients through the years, I'd walk in the showroom, and that showroom was half as big as a football field. And the first thing I'd do is I would yell out, top of my voice, "Wake up, Colorado!" And customers, "Who is that man? He's wearing a suit and a baseball hat. Look, what the hell is this guy?" And I'm walking through. "You folks having a good experience? My salesman doing a good job. How you folks doing today?" And I'm walking through the dealership. "No, you got a baseball hat." I didn't.
Frictionless, baby. That's right.
A frictionless baseball hat. I started wearing the baseball hats at Abraham Chevrolet when Bill Steinmetz was the general manager. And Steinmetz sent me in on a close, and the customer was wearing a baseball hat. And I said, sir, I will do this deal, but I need your baseball hat as part of your down payment.
Nice.
And the guy said, you want my hat? I want your hat. Well, how much, sir? I will not do the deal unless I get your hat. So the guy gave me his hat, and I wore it around the dealership and showing off for the salespeople the rest of the day.
That's funny.
And then through the years, and I've been in more than 1,000 showrooms, through the years, I would always get some customer's hat every time I went in the dealership. It became a trademark that I would negotiate somebody out of their hat.
I love it.
And I tell the salesman me, before the day's out, I'll have a new hat.
I'm glad you weren't collecting pants.
No, just hats. And I would wear the customer's hat for the rest of the day. And then Irving Silver, one of the top salesmen in history, ever since. But yeah,
I love it. Alpha dog.
When you can talk the customer into something like their hat, I mean, it gets personal. And he made me throw in my hat. It made me throw in my hat, Maud. You know, they get all involved in the deal, you know, and they get happy.
That's funny.
We don't play with the people enough. Now there's a fine line between humor and obnoxious.
That's right. Victor Borg said shortest distance between two people is laughter.
Exactly. If you can get people having a good time. When I was a finance manager and I was setting records, some of the records still stand today. The salespeople would congregate outside the F&I office. What the hell are those people laughing about in there? Because I would have the customers laughing so hard and having a good time. And people come to a dealership to change their lives. They come to a dealership for the adventure. And when they walk in the dealership, who the hell do they meet? A bunch of morticians with a damn Bart Simpson ugly faces. Everybody looks pissed off. No, when you walk in a dealership, look like you're happy. And touch every customer. You folks having a good experience? How you doing today? But my salesman doing a good job? Have a good time.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tim, we got to wave goodbye to the people.
Until next time.
Until next time.